After hitting food supplies, Iran now allegedly targets Israel's communications networks. Iranian strikes reportedly hit major Israeli telecom hubs, disrupting phones and internet. Iranian attacks aim to strip Israelis of food, power, and now communication. Mojtaba's missile Wave 88 is framed as economic warfare, not just revenge. Relentless Iranian missile barrages raise questions about whether Trump can claim victory.
I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3, we're hitting them very hard. Last night we knocked out tremendous amounts of missile-making facilities, as you probably read or wrote. We knocked out, excuse me?
Pardon me, the U.S. will be gone or done before?
I think with 2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks, if it is.
We'll leave, because there's no reason for us to do.
Even as the US president signaled he wants to slow down or halt the war, Iran defiantly escalated the conflict by launching a new round of strikes deep inside Israeli territory. On March 31st, Iran dramatically widened the battlefield, opening fresh fronts and hitting what it calls US and Israeli targets across multiple points in the Middle East region. The IRGC boasted of what it describes as heavy, coordinated attacks on American and Israeli positions, branding this as Wave 88 of its ongoing Operation True Promise 4. Iran's military claims it has launched drone attacks on what it calls key industrial and high-tech hubs inside Israel, describing them as strategic centers vital to the country's capabilities. Tehran says the March 31st drone wave specifically hit important telecom and industrial centers in Israel, aiming to disrupt both its civilian infrastructure and its wartime logistics. Iran's forces further allege that their targets included sites linked to global giants such as Siemens and AT&T inside Israel, accusing these firms of indirectly supporting its adversary systems. According to Iranian statements, some of the strikes were directed at facilities close to Ben Gurion Airport and the crucial port city of Haifa, both seen as critical nodes in Israel's security network. Iranian outlet Press TV reported that a Siemens-linked industrial software center near Ben Gurion was singled out, portraying it as a brain hub for advanced control systems. Iran claims the technology developed at this center supports weapons production lines and the design of sophisticated military systems, making it a high-priority target in their eyes. Officials in Tehran also pointed to a telecom research and development hub in Haifa, which they linked to AT&T, saying it was hit because of its role in advanced communications. Tehran alleges this Haifa facility develops networks, cloud platforms, and artificial intelligence tools that underpin Israeli military operations, framing the strike as a blow to its digital backbone. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced the 88th wave of Operation True Promise 4, proclaiming a new phase of coordinated strikes aimed at Israeli and US targets in the region. According to reports cited by the Times of Israel, Iranian missiles armed with cluster warheads slammed into parts of central Israel on March 31st, sharply escalating the nature of Tehran's attacks. At least 8 people were injured in the March 31st barrage on central Israel, with emergency services rushing casualties from multiple impact sites. Impacts were reported in the densely populated areas of Bnei Brak, Ramat Gan, and Petah Tikva, heightening public fear that everyday urban centers are now firmly in the firing line. Iran's forces also claimed responsibility for targeting a cargo ship associated with Israel, named the Hafong Express, signaling that their latest wave of attacks extends to maritime assets as well. Iran claimed it had carried out a precise strike on what it described as a gathering point for US Marines on the UAE coast, signaling a direct challenge to American deployments in the Gulf region. Tehran also asserted that an anti-drone system belonging to the US fleet based in Bahrain was destroyed, framing the attack as part of a broader effort to blind American defenses. In a further claim, Iran said it had taken out an advanced aerial radar at the Jabba al-Ahmed base, presenting this as another blow to US surveillance and early warning capabilities in the area.
Mr. President, a couple of questions for you on Iran, but first one that affects Americans here at home, gas prices. Today they hit $4.
We have $4, yeah, and we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in 6 months. Of course,
but Americans are feeling the effects in the interim of this
and they're also feeling a lot safer.
What is the plan to bring them back down?
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon, and they'll become tumbling down and stock prices were up today almost to a record because they know two things. Number one, we have a safe country. We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khamenei who sadly is no longer with us. And we had regime change already. We've knocked out one regime, then we knocked out the second regime. Now we have a group of people that are very different. They're much more reasonable, I think much less radicalized. We have had regime change. We're dealing with people that are much more rational, and it's amazing what we've done. We had to make a little detour. So when the stock market broke all records just a few weeks ago, when it hit 50,000 on the Dow, 7,000 on the S&P, I said to the American people, it's time that we have to make a little detour because we have a madman that wants a nuclear weapon. And if we didn't knock him out with a B-2 bomber, we would have a nuclear weapon right now. It would have been used before today. And you may not be standing there asking that question, okay? So I think we have a country that understands that. I see CNN did a poll and they talked about voters or MAGA voters, and my poll came out at 100%. Nobody covers that poll. They had another poll where it's at 92% approval. I think that the people understand it. We'll be leaving very soon, and if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the Strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. I think it'll be very safe, actually, but we have nothing to do with that. What happens to the Strait, we're not going to have anything to do with, because these countries, China will go up and they'll fuel up their beautiful ships and they'll leave and they'll take care of themselves. There's no reason for us to do it. We hit them hard. We got rid of a lot of the radicalized lunatics along the Strait. But if they want something, but I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3, we're hitting them very hard. Last night we knocked out tremendous amounts of missile-making facilities. As you probably read or wrote,
Will be gone.
We knocked out. Excuse me.
Pardon interrupting. The U.S. will be gone or done with the war?
I think with 2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks. If it is,
we'll leave because there's no reason for us to
to
do this. Look, problem with the Strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, "Oh, it's unsafe." It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country, or they can drop it. Or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship, or maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles. That's not for us. That'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the Strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all cleared up. Today, I heard tremendous numbers of ships were sailing through. We're negotiating with them right now. We have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that goal has been attained. They will not have nuclear weapons. But we're finishing the job. And I think within maybe 2 weeks, maybe a couple of days longer to do the job. But we want to knock out every single thing they have. Now, it's possible that we'll make a deal before that, because we'll hit bridges, and we've hit some. We'll hit some bridges. Got a couple of nice bridges in mind. But if they come to the table, that'll be good. But it doesn't matter whether they come or not. We've set them back. It'll take 15 to 20 years for them to rebuild what we've done to them. They have no Navy. They have no military. They have no Air Force. They have no telecommunications. They have no anti-aircraft systems. They have no leaders. Their leaders are all gone. That's why we have regime change. We have nice new leaders. Peter?
Thank you, President Trump. You talked about how the ballroom needs to have a drone-proof roof.
Right.
There have been drone swarms flying over sensitive military installations in the U.S. over the last couple of weeks. The reports are they don't look commercial and they can't be jammed. Is this another country's military?
I don't think so. We have a great system of. Do you notice that over the last 4 or 5 days you haven't seen very many drone hits? Right? We have some unbelievable anti-drone weaponry that's incredible. But you want to have, like, for instance, the ballroom. We have a very powerful steel roof with other things in it. And you want to have, if you're building a building for security, just like his judge's opinion, you have to have security for the president and his staff. You need heavy, strong ceilings. You need seriously thick, bulletproof, ballistic glass. And we have that. Other buildings don't. You know, fairly modern buildings don't have that. They have roofs that are weak and they have regular glass windows.
There was this incident down at Barksdale, though, where apparently a whole swarm of drones for a couple hours was over the flight line. There's a lot of really important planes down there. Yeah. How concerned are you that this is some other country just scoping out?
Yeah. I know about it. They've checked that out and they've gotten to the bottom of it. You know, you have a lot of people now that fly these things all over the place, and we're coming down very hard on them. But we're able to take them out militarily. We're able to take them out very easily. And a new thing is lasers. You know, the lasers are becoming very, very effective. You hit a drone and it melts in air. It's a beautiful thing to see. If it's coming at you, having a laser is a very nice thing. But we have, there are methods of defending against drones. I mean, the advantage from the standpoint of defense is they don't go very fast relative to a F-22, that plane right over there. They go very slow. They can be also shot out of the air by, you know, high quality aircraft, which we have more than anybody ever had.
And there was a viral video this week. I don't know if you saw it, of Army helicopters hovering near Kid Rock's house in Nashville. Did you see that video?
I didn't see it, no, but I'm sure they had a good time.
So the Army just said the crews of these helicopters have been suspended. What do you think of that?
Well, it depends. Are they? Well, they probably shouldn't have been doing it. Yes, you're not supposed to be playing games, right? But I'd take a look at it. They like Kid Rock. I like Kid Rock. Maybe they were trying to defend him. I don't know.
Does Iran have to make a deal? Does Iran have to make a deal for the U.S. to end its operation in Iran? And
no,
have you spoken?
No.
And have you spoken directly?
Iran doesn't have to make a deal. No. Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people. It's a new regime. They are much more accessible. They are right. You know, they said, we have a present for you, Mr. President, out of respect. And they said, wait a minute, you want me to answer the question? You're a fresh person. You know, we've had a lot of problems with you, haven't we? No, they don't. You asked me a question. No, they don't have to make a deal with me. When we feel that they are, for a long period of time, put into the Stone Ages, and they won't be able to come up with a nuclear weapon, then we'll leave. Whether we have a deal or not, it's irrelevant. Now, it's possible that we'll have a deal because they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal more than I want to make a deal. But in a fairly short period of time, we'll be finished. They will not be able to do a nuclear weapon for years. And when they are ready, maybe in a long time from now, able to do a nuclear weapon, you'll have a president that will be like me and that he will go there and he'll knock the hell out of them again because they cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are very radicalized people. They're very sick leaderships. And I will say, though, that the leadership we're dealing with now, with the new regime, because we have a new regime, and the new regime is much better than the past. Yeah.
Mr. President, the Iranian government threatened a bunch of U.S. companies today in the region, including Google, Apple.
With what? What did they threaten them with? PB guns? Or
well, that's a
they don't have
question.
Much left to threaten.
My question for you is: is the U.S. talking
what did
to companies?
You made a set. What did they threaten them with? I don't know. Go to tell me. How did they threaten them?
Well, all I know is that they threatened them, sir.
What does that mean?
Fair enough.
They said something nasty.
Is the government in touch with these companies? Are you helping to backstop them?
You don't even know what the threat was. What was the threat? I haven't heard it. What was the threat?
I'll get back.
Did they say they're going to blow them up? They're going to hit them.
They're not.
You know what they're not going to do? They're not going to hit them with a nuclear weapon. Yeah.
Is this something you're concerned about, sir?
No.
Iran's IRGC issues a warning that they will target 18 U.S. technology companies if the U.S. continues targeted assassinations of Iranian leaders beginning on April 1st. Those companies included NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft.
Most of those people are dead already.